Welcome to my engineering hub. This is your narrator, Chief Engineer Ravi Gupta. Today we'll talk about screw air compressor capacity block diagram. In today's operation, we'll see how the starting, unloading, loading, and the stopping procedure of a screw air compressor take place. After that, we'll see what are the normal maintenance we should do in a screw air compressor and on which interval we should do. After that, we'll see that what are the condition and how you do the troubleshooting when the screw air compressor doesn't start. After that, what you should do if it is starting but having a problem, and then I will summarize you that what are the common problem you should do in case of this alarm if you are getting a screw air compressor. Friend, if you are watching marine engineering video for the first time, I want to tell you marine engineering is a platform in which you make video like this which will be beneficial for your examination, oral and for your interview. Friend, if you are giving MO class 1, class 2 and class 4 examination, I request you to take the membership. You can find a lot of video which will be beneficial for examination and oral purpose. So let's start today's video of screw air compressor. So first, starting of a screw air compressor. When a screw air compressor start, it will start as I told you in my earlier video that this screw air compressor is a continuous running motor. It will be continuous running and its starting and stopping will be done based on the requirement. So once it started, it will be continuous running and the air produced will depend upon the load depending upon the demand. So when we are pressing a start button, the motor is starting on a star delta starting. Star delta starting is a procedure to ensure that the three-phase induction motor have a starting current less than the delta starting. So basically it ensures that the amount of current required at the time of starting will be less. When it is started in unload condition and the solenoid valve is on, which causes the suction valve to open and the loading operation begin. So let me tell you in synopsis what is happening here, and after that we'll see the block diagram. So as you see, this is a suction valve and this is a minimum pressure valve. As I've told you, the air is coming from here. The suction valve, when open, the screw air will build up the pressure and that air will go from here containing oil and air, and that will be separated here, and the air will go here, and after that to this minimum pressure valve having a minimum pressure until it's reached, it will not open. It will open and it will go to the air cooler and then it go out. Now this minimum pressure valve, this solenoid valve and the suction valve, these three are the most important component to ensure that this screw air compressor doesn't get overheat and compressed air is produced in a continuous manner. How? This minimum pressure valve will only lift when there is a sufficient amount of air which is causing it to lift against the minimum pressure against the spring, which is more than 4.5 to 5 bar. Now suppose when you are doing a unloading operation, when the amount of compressed air is decreased, then what will happen? Suppose the air which is going out is decreased. So what will happen? There will be a back pressure in the line which will cause the spring to come down. As the spring will come down, the air produced will not able to go because the demand is less. So along with the spring, the back pressure, this minimum pressure valve will not able to open, which will cause the internal buildup of a pressure inside the system. That will be sought through this check valve back to the screw air compressor, and the increase in the pressure in the system will be detected by a pressure switch which will give a signal to the solenoid valve. Okay, the pressure is rising. You close the suction valve, so it will energize and it will cause the closing of a suction valve. It will cause the, if you see here, when the pressure inside the system will rise, the pressure switch will give the solenoid the signal to off. So what is happening? As I've told you, as long as the solenoid valve is on, the suction valve is open, and as the solenoid valve is off, because of the spring, it will be closed. So it is solenoid activated but spring closed. So when the pressure inside the system will increase, the solenoid pressure switch will give a signal to solenoid to off, and then it will suction valve will close and the air produced will be less. Now suppose after a certain point of time the air demand increases, so on the this side of system there will be less pressure, and it will cause the solenoid to give a signal, okay, the pressure switch is getting deactivated as the pressure is starting to reduce and the minimum pressure will operate. The solenoid will get activated, the suction valve will open, and the air will flow and it will produce compress, and then after compress it will go to this direction. So what is happening? One more time I'll tell you. If the air demand is less, so what will happen? The air pressure in this line will now be reduced, so the pressure inside the oil separator will cause the minimum pressure valve to open. As the minimum pressure valve will open, the pressure inside the system will decrease, the pressure switch will deactivate, the solenoid valve will activate, and it will cause the suction valve to open. And as the suction valve will open, the air will come from here, compress, and again the air flow through minimum pressure valve and then going to the air cooler and then coming out. Like this the system will operate. Now you see, amount of compressed air used increase, decrease to the minimum pressure, solenoid valve is on, suction valve open, loading operation start, pressure rises and loading operation. So this is how the thing happen. Now what is the normal maintenance we should do in a standard screw air compressor? So whenever you are going for a round, you should make sure that you are checking the oil level, you are checking the compression temperature, you are seeing the oil separator differential pressure, you are checking the winding, you are checking the oil condition, and you are checking the belt condition. These things you should must check in a running screw air compressor. In every 3 monthly you should check the oil return line, you should clean the cooler, you should clean the cooling fan, and you should clean the air filter element. Every 6 monthly you change the oil, you should change the oil filter element, you should change the air filter element, and you should change the separator element. Every 4000 running hours you should change the high pressure hose and o-ring and gasket. And after that, every 20,000 running hour you should change the oil seal and the bearing of a motor. Now let's go to the troubleshooting. Now suppose your compressor is not starting, so what can be the reason? First reason can be the main motor is getting overload. What can be overload condition? Is it drawing the excessive current because the rating is small voltage or drop in pressure? Check that. Is the compressor is operating over the regulated pressure? Check that. Is the compressor is having backlash? Change the wiring from 2 phase to the 3 phase. Is the overcurrent relay setting is wrongly set? Reset to the proper setting. Are there is a pressure inside the tank before starting which causing then release the pressure. Separator element is contaminated, change the separator element. Check the air in, check the oil viscosity, check whether the motor is damaged, check the whether fan is damaged, check the fan motor. Now if the compressor is not starting because you are getting a discharge temperature high alarm, then check what is the ambient temperature, check whether the regulation pressure is properly adjusted or not, check whether the cooler is contaminated or what, because if the cooler is contaminated it will not cause proper cooling, causing the discharge temperature high alarm to come. Is there is a dust filter is contaminated, the suction dust filter is contaminated, causing the discharge temperature high alarm. Oil, if it is not proper sufficient, is getting overheated. Check the separator element is proper or not, check the air end bearing is proper or not, check the state of temperature sensor is properly damaged or in proper condition or not. After that, if the distributing circuit breaker is operating, it means if the breaker is proper rating or not, have the short circuit occur, and check for other thing. Now if your compressor is getting started but it is producing the insufficient amount of air, it means problem is with the suction valve or a filter element. So check the air suction filter, check whether the suction valve is properly operating or not, check the solenoid was properly operating or not, check the pressure sensor is giving proper signal to the solenoid for operation or not, check the magnetic contractor which is energizing the solenoid is proper or not, check the air consumption which is proper or not. If it is too much because of the leak in the system, check that. If safety valve is under the proper setting or not, because safety valve is getting lifted and therefore it is not producing the sufficient amount of compressed air. If there is an abnormal pressure rise when the compressor started, check if the suction valve is operating properly or not. It may happen that the solenoid valve is giving a wrong signal. When it is to deactivate, it is getting activated. Check that. Pressure sensor is proper or not, and all that. If there is too much oil consumption, make sure that the separator element is not damaged. Check that oil is not contaminated or deteriorated. Check the minimum pressure valve is properly working, is stated more than 4.5 pressure or not. Check the temperature of discharge air is not high. All this you need to check. If there is an abnormal noise is coming and vibration is coming, then there might be a problem with the belt or coupling. There might be a problem with the foundation fastening nut. There might be a problem with the fan motor damage or bearing getting damaged. Or check if there is any damage during transportation, or check for any installation having vibration, unwanted vibration losing up. So if we sum up the troubleshooting, if you are getting high discharge temperature, most common cause can be a low oil level or a fouled oil cooler. If you are getting a high discharge temperature, it can be a faulty thermal control valve. It can be stuck, which is causing the bypassing of a cooler, and hence you are getting a high discharge temperature alarm. If you are getting oil carryover, then your separator element is damaged. If you high carryover, then you check the minimum pressure valve. If your motor is getting overload or trip, check that whether your solenoid and suction valve is properly operating or not. If your compressors fail to load, it means that your unloader is not properly working. If you are having low discharge pressure, then check that air filter intake filter element is proper or not. And if you are low discharge pressure, check that the air leak is system or not. So friend, if you have learned something from this video, then please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. If you are still watching the video, I want to tell you, please take the membership. I guarantee you will not regret. Thank you friend, have a good day.